So Perek Lamed Beis. V'hinei. Now here's how we're going to do this. The Alter Rebbe is talking about the Gilui Eid HaNeshama. This is how we're going to learn this. The Alter Rebbe is talking about the Gilui Eid HaNeshama, the revelation of the light of a Jewish soul. Now what happens when you reveal the light of the Jewish soul? So in Tanya Perek Chavtes, chapter 29, the Alter Rebbe said, when you reveal the light in a Jewish soul, you have a clarity, a kwarkeit, which is called the Re'iyas Alakuz B'muchash, as though you're seeing godliness clearly. In Perek Lamed Aleph, the Alter Rebbe said something else. When you reveal the neshama, you have what he calls simchas hanefesh, the joy from the experience of the neshama. Perek Lamed Beis is going to say a third symptom. What does it feel like to be in touch with the divine soul? Clarity, joy. Now we're going to have love. Avas Yisrael. When you're in the level of the neshama, on the level of the neshama, you love every Jew like you love yourself, because at the level of the neshama, all Jewish people are one. Of course, the million-dollar question is, how do you get to the neshama? So the Alter Rebbe begins, V'hinei, by practicing what was discussed earlier. Earlier means in Perek Chavtes and Perek Lamed, the idea of a person de-emphasizing the guf, that he should make nafsham iker and gufam tafel. When a person breaks the guf priority and de-emphasizes what Alter Rebbe called in the last Perek, itzavin aguf, the sadness of the body, and instead prioritizes what Alter Rebbe called in the last Perek, simchas hanefesh, the joy of the soul. Lihiyeh said it should be practically, gufei, the body, nivze v'nimas, shameful and disgusting, be'einav in a person's eyes. In other words, it's not important. Rak instead, tiyeh simchasei tiyeh, what's going to be his simcha? Simchas hanefesh levada, the joy of the soul alone. This is a straight and easy path. Love to reach lidekiyim mitzvahs, to carrying out the mitzvah of yahavta l'recha kamecha, to love your fellow as you love yourself. L'chol nefesh miyisrael, to literally love every single Jew. L'mi gadol v'ad katan, from the smallest Jew till the greatest Jew. The Torah says, love your fellow as you love yourself. And of course, everybody asks the question, that's impossible. You cannot love anything like you love yourself, because you're you. Adam karev eitzel atzmi. So the Rambam paskins that yahavta l'recha kamecha doesn't mean love. It means to treat, to behave towards. You could do to somebody what you want done to yourself. You could not do to somebody else what you don't want done to you. But to love, to feel in your heart, is impossible. Neged achush. And this Rambam, which is nigle, is consistent with Rabbi Akiva. That Rabbi Akiva says that yahavta l'recha kamecha is only, in quotations, klal gadol b'teira, but not kol ha'teira kula. The idea that yahavta l'recha kamecha klal gadol b'teira is only half of Yiddishkeit. Which half? Bein adam lachavere. And what is the taich v'yahavta? Behave bein adam lachavere as you want, bein adam lachavere to behave towards you. That's it. But Hillel says kol ha'teira kula. V'yahavta l'recha kamecha is not klal gadol, but kol ha'teira kula. Also bein adam lamak. What is the connection between yahavta l'recha kamecha and lamak? So Rashi says in Shas Masechta Shabbos that Hashem is your friend. Yahavta l'recha, the Eibush is called your friend. Recha v'recha avicha al tazim. But Chassidus says no. Yahavta l'recha kamecha means take your friend. What is the connection between loving your friend and kol ha'teira kula? And the answer is that yahavta taka means to love, not to treat. So you have now two questions. First of all, how could you say that yahavta l'recha kamecha is kol ha'teira kula? It should only be klal gadol, half of teira. Which half? The bein adam lachavere half, as opposed to the bein makam half. And this question is answered with the second question: how could you love every other Jew? And of course, the answer is very, very simple. That because that the person's body is nimus or matua vesli, is disgusting and abominable to himself. His gashmius, his itzavin aguf is immaterial. He's not even focusing. He's not even feeling bad about it. He's not thinking about it. And what is he? He is neshama and his nefesh alikis. So when you start talking about neshamis, so your relationship with other people is totally different for three reasons. Number one, who knows? Their greatness and their level in their root and their source in the living God. Maybe another person's neshama is bigger than yours, even though he's less of a Talmud Chacham than you. B'shagam, additionally, shekulan matimis. There's a place where all neshamas are equal. And number three, va'av echad lekulana. Ultimately, not only are neshamas impossible to measure, not only neshamas are equal, neshamas are one. There's a place where all neshamas are literally one in Chachma Datzilas. V'lachein nikru kol Yisrael achim. Yidden are called brothers, and it's mamish. Right? What's the relationship between brothers? They have the same etzem, the same father and the same mother. They have the same etzem. Klal Yisrael has one etzem. Mitzat sheirish nafsham b'deshem echad, because the root of the neshama is in the Eibishter. That kvayachal and atzma sein sof. All neshamas are not related; they're literally one. The body is separating them. And therefore, if you prioritize your goof, if you live a goof existence, also known as a itzav in a goof existence, there is no way to have to literally. To love another person as you love yourself is impossible. To treat another person as you treat yourself is possible. But to feel in your heart towards another person as you feel towards yourself, impossible. But if you follow the prescription of Tanya, that what does Tanya say in essence? A Jew has to live a soul life existence, a neshama existence, which gives you clarity, Tanya Perek Chav Tes. It gives you joy, Tanya Perek Lamed Aleph. Says the Alter Rebbe, it gives you Ahavas Yisrael also, Tanya Perek Lamed Beis. But therefore, if you make your body the priority, if a nafsham tfeil in the soul becomes secondary, it's totally impossible. To have a brother, a love and a brothership between one and another that's absolute, where you literally love somebody else as you love yourself. You only love another person because of what they do for you. It's love of you. When you love somebody else, you're really loving yourself and what that person can give to you. But if you make nafshamik of a gufam tafel, you make the priyad in neshama. If you make the priyad in neshama, two things are true. Number one, you can mamish love another person as you love yourself. And number two, it explains why Avas Yisrael is not only klal godel b'teira, in other words, connected to the mitzvahs that Rabbeinu Adam Lachavede, but it's kol teira kula. Even the mitzvahs that Rabbeinu Adam Lamakam are included in the V'hafla Lechamecha. That's because of Hillel Hazakim, which is why Hillel said, as opposed to Rabbi Akiva, Al Kiyah mitzvah zu, on fulfilling this mitzvah, that it's zeu kol teira kula. It's the entirety of the teira. The idach pirushu chul. The rest is commentary, rather than saying that it's simply a klal godel. Why? Because what's the chiddush of Hillel? The chiddush of Hillel v'yahafta doesn't mean treat, it means actually love. Love, feel in your heart. Since it means love, that's impossible. The only way you could love and feel another Jew in your heart like you feel yourself is the level of the neshama. And the reason on the level of the neshama you're able to love and feel another person is because the level of your neshama are one. Says the Alter Rebbe, the neshama is not only relevant for not stealing and not cheating. You need your neshama for Shabbos too. You need your neshama for mezuzah also. You need your neshama for tefillin, for tzedakah, of every mitzvah. So Hillel says you should know that since v'yahafta lecha moicha is a mitzvah of neshama, it becomes kol teira kula. The way I like to teach it is to say it like this: there are 612 mitzvahs you can do without your neshama. You can do tefillin with your hands and your mind. There's one mitzvah that's absolutely impossible. In other words, where do you have a raya in teira for chasidus v'yahafta lecha moicha? What is Chassidus? The viability of the neshama. Using your neshama in day-to-day life. It's impossible to do this one mitzvah without the neshama. That's why it's called Teira Kula. Called Teira Kula because after L'reich Kamecha drives home a simple point. You have to reveal your nefesh alakis to be a Jew. And that's called Teira Kula. It's negay in all 630 mitzvahs, not just in the mitzvahs that are bein adam l'chaveri. Zeu shekos of Hillel Hazakim, which Hillel Hazakim says al kiyem mitzvah zua, but fulfill the mitzvah of L'reich Kamecha zeu kol Teira Kula. It's the whole Teira. V'idach pirushu uchul. The rest is commentary. Key, because Yosei v'sheidish kol Teira Kula. What is the root and the source, the foundation and the root of the whole Yiddishkeit? The neshama, and therefore, which it explains, lahagbiya to lift up, lahales and to elevate, hanefesh alaguf, the soul, the neshama over the body, maila higher and even higher, adiki v'shosh to the core and root of all of the worlds. And since the purpose of Yiddishkeit is to reveal the neshama, and the mitzvah in Yiddishkeit, which can't possibly be done without the revelation of the neshama, is Avas Yisrael becomes Kol Teira Kula. Why is Avas Yisrael the most important mitzvah? Because Avos Yisrael is the one mitzvah that you must do with the neshama, and according to Tanya, revealing the neshama is negay in all the mitzvahs, not just with Adam Lachaveda, but also with Adam Lamakam. V'gam, and there's another point. There's another reason why Avos Yisrael is so important, because in addition to Yiddishkeit being lifting up the neshama, Yiddishkeit is also to bring down Hashem into Knesset Yisrael, which is Malchus of Atzilus, like we're going to discuss later, and ultimately to bring him down not only into Knesset Yisrael and to Malchus Atzilus, but to bring him down also into the lower world. In other words, to bring down the Eibush to B'Makar and Neshamis Kol Yisrael, in the root of the souls of all the Jewish people. They should be one. And you should know that the Ein Sof will not come down when there's a separation, God forbid, between Neshamas. Hashem does not rest when the place is wounded, blemished, not one. It's written in the Siddur, when does our Father bless us? When kulanu ke'echad, one with the light of His countenance, as is discussed at length in other places, that in order for Hashem's blessings to come down, we have to be one. So Ahavas Yisrael becomes Kol HaTeira Kula for two reasons. And these two reasons are the core of the whole Yiddishkeit. Reason number one, that the Yiddishkeit is about lifting up the neshama, bringing out the neshama. Of all the Tayag mitzvahs, the mitzvah that more than any other makes this point at Ahavas Yisrael. Reason number two, Yiddishkeit is about bringing Hashem down into this world. To bring down Hashem into this world, you have to have Achdus, and this is achieved through Ahavas Yisrael. This is why it's called Teira Kula. The point that's negated to the Tanya is, Chassidus is teaching us you got to be a soul Jew. You have to serve Hashem with the neshama. And you serve Hashem with the neshama, you have clarity. Tanya Perek Chavtes. You have joy. Tanya Perek Lamed Aleph. And you can literally love another person like you love yourself. Tanya Perek Lamed Beis.